What's up, folks? On the air with VA3EWV, coming out here on the Thursday evening. Tonight, just to let you guys know, every Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, I'll be having my Echo Link and All-Star Node chat there. If you go to my website, you'll see, well, you should be on my website now, you'll see the details. So that's every Thursday night, just so everyone knows. I will do some on Fridays too, but every Thursday night for sure, I'll be doing an Echo Link and All-Star Node QSO there. And the reason behind that is it's an alternative. It's just an alternative. I use Echo Link a lot because I love talking back to my home, like my home-based repeater. I commute every day, and every morning I have a QSO from 8 to 9. Well, I'm out of repeater range most of the time, so I just log in on Echo Link, and I get to participate like that. Also, when I am visiting my parents in the States or traveling throughout Canada and the U.S., I can easily go on Echo Link and join up with my home club on their Echo Link All-Star Node repeater, and I can do that. Good news that I want to share is in Canada we have our basic with honors and our advanced certifications, and I'm very excited to let everybody know today that I went and took my my advanced certification test on Tuesday, and I passed with an 80%. So I'm very excited to share that with everybody, that I am now an advanced ham. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about. It was a 3-month course with Radio Amateurs of Canada. I did not have to pay for the course because I was a RAC member with bronze certification. So that's all good. Also, with that being said, we had an RV, only 4 years old. And we haven't been using it since we moved to a big place. And we actually sold that yesterday for asking. So that was a big whoop-de-doo. And then last but not least, since I was always confined to VHF and UHF, and that's the only radio I have is a 2-meter a dual band radio with DMR, I got surprised because I've passed my test, and today when I get home, I've been told that there's a brand new Yaesu 991-A Shack in the Box waiting for me at home. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I'll do an unboxing for that and stuff like that. In the meantime, on my drive at 5, I drive after 5, I live in, I used to live here in Ottawa. I moved about an hour away to the country. So I have to commute an hour, and what better way to pass the time than talk to people on the radio. So I always start in simplex mode, the national call-in frequency 146.520. Then I move on to the local repeater here in town, VE2CRA. So if you go to repeaterbook.com, you can check that out. And then I hit repeaters between here and home. Now we'll be calling those out. You can go to my repeaterbook.com when I call those repeaters out and see if they have Echo Link or All-Star, and if they do, you can join me. Right now we're going to do a little simplex and see if anybody's out there. So we're going to start with 146.520 simplex on my second VFO, and we're going to get to it. Here we go. This is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor Ernest Mobile standing by. Okay, so I'm on the repeater because I heard it identified. So I'm on the incorrect VFO for national calling frequency, but that's okay. So without taking my eyes off the road, I can just press the button because I know where it's at. And now I'm going to be on the other VFO. This is Victor Alpha 3 Echo Whiskey Victor, a VA3 EWV Mobile, standing by. So let's see if we can get somebody out there on
VA3 EWV Victor Echo 3 Oscar Tango Whiskey.
Here we go, picking up somebody up right away. Victor Echo 3 Oscar Tango Whiskey. Jonathan, how's it going today?
Not too bad, not too bad. You just missed out on the special event. VE3 RHQ RAC headquarters was calling out on this frequency.
No!
They're making contacts today for World Amateur Day, so I managed to make the contact there, and they managed to talk to some of the locals. So that was a good thing. And yeah, things have been good here. Unfortunately, I think you might have came a little bit late, but all in all, it's okay. It's okay. But other than that, so I hope you're doing well, and the weather is wet out there. Hopefully you're staying safe on the roads, and yeah, things are good here.
Yeah, it is World Amateur Day. Thank you for reminding me as well. I did ask my friend VE3ARF, Alpha Radio Fox there. I said, hey, look, I don't have an HF rig. I'll be getting off work late. Can I come to your house and get my name, my bean in the pot for the World Radio Amateur Day? And so I'm planning on doing that tonight, so I can get my little name in the pot there. That's pretty exciting. My first one. VE3OTW, VA3EWV.
Well, well, they're making contacts on this frequency, Ernest. You didn't need HF. They're making contacts on here.
See, look at there.
But they were talking to people all day today. And I don't know what time you'll get home, but it ends at 8 o'clock tonight. So I guess you'll maybe have an hour or two, I guess, to make some contacts. But I guess, yeah, that's better than nothing. So yeah, that's good. At least you'll have a chance to participate.
Well, I'll definitely get the looking, that's for sure. So my friend said he's going to be getting everything set up. So I'm going to like cruise on in. I'll be coming in hot and getting straight up to a mic and trying to get my name out there on the dotted line. Other than that, I have some good news to share. You know, if I'm on the radio, I always have something to share. So on Tuesday, I sat down to write my advanced, walked away with an 80%, only missed 10. And so now, when you look at my call sign, VA3EWV, it now says advanced, and then it says basic. So, pretty excited about that.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ernest. Congratulations. The best news I heard all day, or even all week. That's great. I'm happy for you, Ernest. That's fantastic. I know you worked hard, and you studied hard, and at the end it all paid off. So that's great. That's amazing. You'll have HF privileges now. You could do some other stuff too. You could set up a repeater. You can sound the club if you really want to. You get some more power. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Even if you operate internationally, now that you have the advanced license, you can apply for a reciprocity agreement. So if you work in the say the Caribbean or Europe, you can apply for a reciprocity license and you can operate amateur radio there. So yeah, that's great, Ernest. That's great. Congratulations. What fantastic news for World Amateur Radio Day. That's just great.
Right, it's been a long road. I've been working hard, you know. As you know, I told you I had taken 7 tests trying to get basic, 4 just to get my basic with a 7.3. And when I found out what 7.3 was, I was like, oh, I'm happy with that. And also, I got my basic in January 17th, and I got my honors on April 17th. So, you know, that's pretty cool for me too, you know.
Yeah, that's excellent news. Wow. Yeah, again, Ernest, congratulations. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, there's a few operators here who just wrote the advanced license as well too. So. That's great. You know, some of the newer hams did it, and there's one other ham here who did it. And yeah, that's fantastic. Wow, goodness. So, what's the next step, Ernest? Are you going to put up a repeater now that you have advanced privileges? Hi.
No, I have a couple of things I want to do. You know, getting the HF is. Getting HF privileges is part of it, but you know, I wanted to experience the whole, you know, the whole thing of ham. You know, old, new, right? So I wanted to get my advanced because, you know, when I got into radio, everything has been digital, right? Even when we even had a speaker come to our last monthly meeting, and he was saying that, you know, back 20, 30 years ago, 75% of the people were technical, and you had 25% of the people just doing communications. Now you look at the world of ham now, there's 75% doing communications and only 25% that are technical. So it's changed. And you know, everybody now, you can just go get just radios, just, you know, get them, and there's no going inside of them or anything like that. So my next steps are to work on going out to people who have been displaced, that were hams, going to senior centers, nursing homes, for those people who have gotten away from ham because they've had to move or something. And I want to show those guys that alternative of Echolink and All-Star nodes. So if they're in their area, they can get back and just start talking and listening. Because that's just for the people who don't have it. So that's what I want to do, is reach out to people who've been displaced and seniors and stuff like that, and get them at least back listening. And most everybody has a computer, cell phone, or tablet. So that'll be something I'll work on. And then the next thing I'm working on is getting me a paddle, because I can't get that straight key for nothing. And I'm going to work for the next 3 or 4 months and try to get my CW added to that list.
VE3EWV mobile, VE3OTW returning. Well, Ernest, that's fantastic. That's great news. Yes, you told me about that initiative before, and hopefully you have success in that. It sounds like a very good idea. So yeah, hopefully you can get some traction on that. And yeah, the paddle. I think the paddle is a good idea. I'll be honest, Ernest. I am not good with the straight key. I have to send with the paddle. I can't really do it any other way. And I'm sure, as you're aware, you're able to take the exam with a paddle. You can use a paddle, straight key, or bug. Could be manual, could be semi-automatic, could be a paddle or bug or cootie if you choose. But yeah, you have that option. So I think that's a good idea. As I mentioned also, Ernest, rhythm is not one of my strong suits. So yeah, I was never ever good with the straight key. Paddle. I use a paddle even when I do contacts now. I use a paddle, and that's that. So it's a lot easier, I find. But yeah, I guess you'll have to find a style that suits you. I like the double paddle, the dual paddle iambic. So you just pinch it, and it sends everything automatically. You don't have to worry about left side, right side. You can just kind of pinch the paddles, and we'll have a dit and dock completely spaced out perfectly. I find it a lot easier. So yeah, that's great, Ernest. That's great. So many things on the go for you. I'm very, very happy for you.
Yeah, this has been a chock full 15 months, eh? I've done a lot of things in 15 months. Amateur of the year for the club. You know, getting the basic, couldn't get the honor. So it's been a lot of hard work too. And you know, the best thing about it, all the people that support me like yourself and care about me, they're like, you're out there doing it. You know, you're not out there, you know, doing whatever. Every day you're out there, you know, keeping up with the craft. Yeah, and lastly, when I get home tonight, the biggest surprise, my wife has purchased me, because I passed my exam. She had faith in me. She got a hold of my friend VE3ARF and was asking him what kind of radio I was talking about. And he was telling her, and today she was trying to keep it a secret, but she forgot that we have cameras in and outside of the house, right? So when the guy was sitting there delivering it, I heard her talking, and she doesn't know I know. But there's going to be a Shack in the Box. The Yaesu 991 Alpha is going to be sitting at home waiting for me there, which is pretty exciting news.
Oh, Ernest, when it rains, it pours. One good news after another. That's fantastic. My goodness, Ernest. Congratulations. That's great. I know you're, as you mentioned before, I know you worked hard, and it's paying off. You can see it's paying off. And the thing that I like is you're paying it forward. Now that you have this knowledge, you're passing it on. You're doing outreach for the senior centers, for the community who might not have access. So yeah, that's fantastic, and that's a great radio too, the 991 Alpha, that has C4FM capabilities. So if there's any C4FM repeaters in the area, which I think Cordwell does, you'll be set. And it has VHF, UHF, and HF, and also has 6 meters as well too. So you can cash in on those 6 meter contacts when they're in season. And well, you have the NFED antenna, and you have the radio you're not supposed to know that you have, but you know already. So yeah, you're set to go, Ernest. I think you're set to go. Just have to put everything together, then you're all set.
Well, I invited everybody I know to my house on Saturday from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, because I told you I had got myself a beacon for the fox hunt. So I have my grandkids this weekend too. I'm going to order me a big old cake, as they say in the South. And we're going to have coffee and cake, you know, or a lot of junk food there. And it's supposed to be better weather on the weekend. We're not going to actually be hunting the fox. It's going to be right there in front of us. But we'll just be using our equipment that we've made and fine-tune the fox, I guess you would say. So we'll celebrate my advance there. I'll have all my buddies over, and that's the best part. So I can actually sit back and then, you know, those guys that know a lot of stuff, hey, let me help you with this, let me help you with that. Next thing you know, it'll be all programmed and all that stuff like that. And I'll be sitting there watching, eating cake while they're going crazy getting everything set up, eh? Because I've already had a friend told me, hey, when you get your stuff, I'm going to set you up with some kind of software, old man's ham or something like that or whatever. So it's going to be lots of fun and things like that, you know. If you want to stretch your legs and meet out in person, it's just an hour away. I'll just invite you. You know, nobody's obligated, but I wanted to extend the welcome out there anyway, so you don't miss out the fun. Anyway, VE3OTW Mobile, VA3EWV Mobile.
The VE3EWV Mobile, VE3OTW returning. Well, Ernest, yeah, that's amazing news. That's amazing news. I'm very, very happy that the result was what you wanted, and plus you have your friends and family to share it with too, and the grandkids coming. That's fantastic. That's great. You all get to celebrate together, and yeah, they might help you with the tower hoisting or antenna hoisting. I know you have the NFED there, so I'm sure they'll help you out with that. And maybe you'll do some contacts that weekend. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that's amazing. That's great. I'm glad to hear. You know, that's what makes the hobby worthwhile, you know, hearing stories like that and people moving up and moving forward, and that's great. That's great to hear. And yeah, nothing wrong with relaxing, at least for the weekend. You have definitely earned it, Ernest. I know you worked hard, and now you have the result to pay off for it, so that's fantastic. I hope you have a very, very celebratory weekend with the advance, because you have definitely earned it.
Yeah, as they say in the old Love Me the World, I appreciate the flowers, and you know, I appreciate our time here too. I really like it, and so the thing is, I can't wait to work. You know, I can't.
Well, it depends what you want to do, Ernest. So if you want to local contact to like Eastern Seaboard, Eastern Ontario, Western Quebec, that sort of business, you have to look into the lower bands, you know, 60 meters, 80 meters. There's a lot of nets on 80 meters that cater to that sort of thing. Now that you have HF, you'll find it out too. There's a lot of nets that happen on HF, but depending what your flavor is. If you want more DX, or if you want more opportunities to contact, you know, across the pond or outside the continent, right now the upper bands are super hot right now. 15 meters is great, and especially 10 meters. Man, oh man, 10 meters. 10 meters, 12 meters. I was able to hear Japan on 12 meters a few days ago. It's been really, really good. And those would be my recommendations. But again, it depends what you want to do. You know, this hobby, it has all sorts of facets, you know, sideband, digital, there's even digital modes on HF too. And essentially you send little packets to and from each other. You send a little packet, radio packet from your station, and then you receive a little radio packet from the other station. And a lot of new amateurs, they do it. There's some amateurs here, that's all they do. They do nothing but digital, just send little packets back and forth. So it's completely up to you what you want to do, but now you have the HF, so the world is your oyster.
Yeah, so now it's time to make you giggle as the weeks come by, because I know I have friends that are on my Facebook page, and I don't have HF, but you know they've gotten their basic good honors. They go out there, and they're like, hey, I got my first contact was in the UK to such and such and such and such, right? And you know, the people who've been doing it for a long time, they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's pretty good, you know. So that's what I'll be doing. So when you hear me next week, because I'm definitely intend to put up this weekend, hey Jonathan, my first contact on HF was blah 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 blah. You're gonna be like, oh, good for you, you know. So I'll give you some little giggling moments for next week there.
Well, very good, very good. Well, yeah, well, it's fun. It's definitely fun, and you picked the right time to get into the hobby, because we're at the peak of the solar cycle. Between this year and next year, this will be top peak of the solar cycle, so you'll have a maximum opportunity to make contacts all over the world. And as I said, you know, I heard Japan, you know, a few days ago on 12 meters, and I managed to work Qatar in the Middle East about a week or two ago on 5 watts. And I've worked all over the world with very little power, just because these conditions have been so good. And the solar cycle and the sunspots have been absolutely prime right now for amateur radio, especially for 10 meters. So you came at a good time. Some people, when they come into the hobby, they come at the bottom of the solar cycle, so sometimes they turn on their radio, they think their radio is broken, but it's just a solar cycle. But you came at a good time. So I think between the next couple of years, you'll be able to maximize your contacts for getting out there. So if you want to talk locally, like I said, the local bands, 40 meters, 60 meters, 80 meters, there's some nets here or there. But if you want to do the DX, the upper bands, especially these days, that's the way to go.
Well, you know, it's all about time now. You know, I wish I'd have had all these things going on when I was off for 6 months. But now I'm working every day, you know. And with all the studying and stuff like that, you know, man, I really had to get into it. And people were calling me from, I'm telling you, I had guys from the UK calling me, working on equations and stuff. Guys from the States, guys from, yeah, UK was probably the farthest. You know, people from all across Canada, you know, because in the class there was lots of people all over, local folks too, in my club. It was just a lot of talking about this, talking about that, because I didn't want to memorize just, you know, so many questions and get a memorization license, right? I really wanted to know this stuff. But now, as they always say, Jonathan, the license is the key to learn, right? So now that I have my you know, the advanced, you know, it's just going out there and learning more and more and sharing it. Anyway, I'm in Emblem here now. We'll see if anybody else is out there too. You never know who else is out there listening. But back over to you, though. I see my buddy Bob's out there watching. So back over to you, Jonathan, for your return. What's going on, Bob?
VE3EWV mobile, VE3OTW returning. Well, Ernest, that's great that you're able to get the help from all over the world. Yeah, the UK and those places. That's great. That's great. But the learning never stops, Ernest. That's the fun thing about the hobby. You're always learning. You're always doing stuff all the time. You're always learning new things, and it will take a lifetime to learn everything, and you only learn a fraction of it. You know, it's just the type of hobby. It's so in depth. And there's so much to learn and take in. I think that would be my first recommendation. Try not to do everything at once, because you'll burn yourself out very quickly if you try everything all together. Dabble a bit and see what you like, and stick with the few things that you like, and branch out once in a while when you have time. That's the problem. You know, all of us are working, all of us are doing other things. But yeah, just you have a very good pace, Ernest. Just keep up the pace and try and take in as much as you can and enjoy the hobby. That would be my advice. But yeah, that's excellent news, and I can't wait to hear about all your HF contacts. Haven't been on HF in probably a few days, but when I was on, you know, it's been absolutely great, and I'm sure you'll have some good results too. It sounds like you have a good setup there, so hopefully we'll hear you on the bands, as they say.
V30TW, VA3 EWV returning. Yeah, it's going to be quite a good time, Jonathan. I'm going to let your lips relax there for a little while. I'm just navigating. It's starting to get fog. It looks like a lot of fog and rain, so most of the time I stay clear of the radio and stuff like that when it's inclement weather. So it's looking pretty dicey. So I'm going to keep the eyes on the road. And I will hear you around next time. I'll be saying 7-3 on your final, VE30TW, VA3EWV.
Okay, Giannis, very good. Well, take the time to relax. As I said, you have definitely earned it, and that's fantastic. I can't believe the news. That's great. I'm very happy for your earnest. Have fun this weekend, and we'll hear.
Well, I'm losing right almost at this.
Wait, the VE3 EWV Mobile VE3 OTW. Take care at 7:30.
7-3 to you, my friend. V3 OTW, V3 EWV clear. Okay, folks, that was a good little QSO on Simplex there. Just trying to concentrate on this road now. It's weather's getting pretty nasty. Looks like a lot of fog and rain. So I'm going to get out of here and stay safe. And tonight, if you all can, I'm doing my Echolink All-Star Node QSO there at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to keep that going. And like I said, I'm going to try to reach out to folks who were on the radio but are not on radio now because of either housing issues, you know, they're older folks, folks that are in the hospital. I met a lot of my friends on Echolink that were in the hospital for various things. So that's just a supplement. It's not a replacement. It's just a good to have. I also use it every morning on my way to work because by the time I try to leave about 30 minutes early, so by the time our little morning net goes on where we live, I'm out of range of the repeater. So I get to go on the Echolink and still enjoy their company and still work with those people that are on the repeater. I can still talk to them through Echolink. Anyway, that's it for me now. I hope to see you all at 8 o'clock tonight. Also, for friends that live close, I'm having a get-together at my house 2 o'clock on Saturday to celebrate my advanced exam and to play around with my new Fox. If you can make it out, I'll have cake. That should be enough to come out. I'll have cake. Cake and ice cream, and even a gluten-free cake. I'll have some gluten-free cake too for people that watch.